I'm going to share with you the most challenging realization that came to me um, on my spiritual journey. It was probably the hardest moment of awareness that actually, even as I think about it, I realize how humbling the thought is. And that is that after you die, there's no more you. Like, so after I'm gone, there's no more Allan. This kind of more, it's more of a theological belief structure, but this concept of heaven, your spiritual self does continue on because it's an eternal being. But your physical mind and body, which is what you know best, when you breathe your last breath, that part of you is gone. And so your human mind or your egoic mind usually has amazing attachment and identification with the human qualities of you. Like, no exaggeration, within a few moments of you dying and your spirit, your spiritual energy leaving your body, it's like a light goes off and you come to realize just how much of your life was being compelled by your human self. And so the way this thing is designed basically is that your spiritual energy goes from one incarnation to the next to the next. And it almost always has a plan. It has a mission. There's different lessons that it's trying to learn and to integrate. Those usually are developed through various circumstances like marital circumstances and career circumstances and sometimes health circumstances. And then suffering becomes the catalyst by which you grow. And so there's usually a big dose of suffering entered into the incarnation plan. Sometimes the suffering is an indication that you're off your incarnation plan. Sometimes the suffering is the mechanism by which you awaken to the lessons of your incarnation. Either way that you look at it, it's your human self, your human mind and body that's experiencing the suffering. It's your spiritual self that is benefiting from the growth. And so when I talk to somebody who says, oh, it's so heavy, I don't want to come back, or I'm done, this is my last incarnation, I'm certain of it, I'm going to go somewhere else, I don't want to do this anymore. They're almost always saying it from the perspective of their human self, as if their human self is going to choose whether or not to come back, right? Once you're gone, the memory of you, all the life experiences that have been had can be accessed. But not just this life, many, many, many past lives can all be accessed. Your spiritual self will deliver all that knowing and experience to your higher self, which becomes the repository to retain all these experiences. But ultimately, your spiritual self is trying to get back to its source, the divine. And to get back to the divine, it has to infuse the right vibration through all these amazing lessons to get there. It effectively takes on these incarnations so that energetically it can evolve, right? All that you're experiencing is the human manifestation of that journey, which, while in human form, almost entirely cuts you off, not entirely, but almost entirely cuts you off from spiritual intention or spiritual knowing. If you reach awakening, truly, completely reach consciousness, your spiritual intention becomes available to you. And now, for the first time, your human self and your spiritual self can move in tandem, which is the human self can actually deliberately guide down a path that aligns with what it is that your spiritual self came here to achieve. If your human self is too dominant, then your spiritual intention is not available. The only thing that your spiritual intention can do is to create more and more suffering as a mechanism in the hopes of getting you aligned with what it is that your spirit is hoping you'll experience. As always, light and love, everybody. And we'll talk again soon.